the two guys that I guess are kind of stepping into graduated guys' spots, Harry on the left and Caleb on the right. I know you were high on him in preseason, but just as you kind of start to wind toward a game week here, what do you think of those guys?
Harry's been very consistent. Harry's played a lot of football for us. He was a guy that didn't redshirt. He's played a lot his freshman year. Last year didn't play as much as probably he would have liked or whatever, but we were able to stay healthy last year. But Harry's a steady guy, man. He graded out. I don't know if he was the highest grade from our second preseason game, but he's been very consistent. Caleb Jones, he's got some activity for us in the last season. He's still work in progress as far as getting better, but he's really the off season's been big for Caleb. He really I think from his first year here to his second year last year, I think he really kind of upped his training level and all that stuff in the off season, and it's paying off for him right now.
Depth, is something you guys have been trying to develop. How's that come along, do you feel like, during fall camp?
Well, the great thing is I feel like we've got we've got a solid 5 guys, and we've got now after camp, obviously from spring ball to now, there was a lot to be proven, and I feel a lot better right now at where we are right now. Obviously not the end of camp yet, but we've got some good competition going. To figure out who, kind of got an idea of who that 6th and 7th guy is going to be. But we feel like we've got some good competition for that 8th, 9th spot. I don't know if we'll roll 10 guys in there this year or not. This depends as guys keep growing and getting better. But I do feel a lot more comfortable today than I did leading into camp. Obviously we knew the summer was going to be big.
Now that Caleb has the strength and conditioning piece down, what do you think is kind of the next step for him?
Just the mental component of everything that's happening, and then consistency. He does a great job knowing what to do and all that stuff. But then, he's a big guy, and he starts getting tired a little bit, and he'll have a lapse here or a lapse there, and it's just consistent. And it's not that he doesn't know what to do. It's just I think he sometimes, that just the play in, play out consistency, because he hasn't been a guy that's played over and over and over and over. And, on the offensive line, I know defensively, people like to rotate and all that stuff, but in the offensive line, again, I'd love to rotate guys, but to me, we're 45.45% of the offense every snap, and those 5 guys, the consistency of having those 5 guys working together and from a call standpoint and knowing what's going on and all those things, it's big.
How have you liked how they've all been working together then in camp here?
Really good. And what's been fun is we've been, just playing with some different combinations. We for the most part, we've had our 1s out there together and our 2s. And in that 2 group, there's been some rotation, not rotation, but some guys playing some different spots. But here lately, we've been plugging in, moving some guys in and out of even the first unit just to kind of get some different combinations going. And, a lot of times when 2 guys are, maybe combo blocking on a certain play or whatever, and then all of a sudden now there's a new guy in there. Sometimes that doesn't fit together, but it's been really good, from that perspective.
Matthew Bedford looked like a guy you might go beyond the 4 games you can do for a freshman and keep eligibility.
Yeah, he's been a pleasant surprise. Going into spring practice, he was an early enrollee, and I'd say after the first 5 practices of spring ball, I was like, whoa, he's got a long ways to go from a mental standpoint. And then, I'd say that second, third, the second 5 practices of spring ball, all of a sudden the light bulb came on, and then really those last 5 of spring ball, and he's had a nice carryover. Biggest thing for him is the mental component, but physically he can do a lot of things, and he's going to be a good football player. But our defense is throwing a lot at us throughout fall camp, and it's not the base stuff for him. It's the adjustments to the different things that we get from our defense, and it's for him is just a consistency standpoint from a playbook standpoint.
What do you think you really like about these guys?
I'll tell you, and I'm not going to go the same thing for a football team, but I think we got a group of guys that nothing really phases. They just go out and work, and whether it's hot outside today, and they just work and go to the weight room. I can say that in my 2 years here and other places I've been, the strength coach usually, when they're in the weight room, it may be a bad day for the offense, or the O-line didn't have a great performance in the weight room and all that stuff. And I'm never getting any bad reports from the weight room. I mean, we haven't had any issues throughout fall camp. It's been a clean camp. Guys are working. The strength guys say they're in the weight room working. They're coming to meetings. They're focused. They're on time. I don't have any guys strolling in late. And I'm not, I can't say the first 2 years. There's been days I've had to run guys and, walking into a meeting 2 minutes late. But it's just been clean. They just work. And I think that's the kind of the mindset of the team, and it's been fun. I know we talk about it as a staff, but for the O-line, I actually brought up in a meeting one day, in a full staff meeting, it's been great. I have had zero issues in the group, and they just show up and they do the work.
So everybody stayed pretty healthy?
Yeah, for the most part. We've got our typical bumps and bruises and all that, but I told, you can ask those guys when you talk to them. I told them the night before we started our first practice, I said, you better remember how you feel right now, because you're not going to feel this good until we get done playing a bowl game. And so their bodies are beat up and all that stuff, but we're in the process of building them back, and they got to take care of their bodies and all those good things. But nothing major to knock on wood, but nothing major to be scared about.